Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judge Herman. Today is the 31st day of July, 2024, from the Highland Park Municipal Court. I'm taking the liberty of holding a pre-hearing conference in connection with the matter of Suzanne Sakura Ludwig, so that I can set forth what I know about the new rule for the press and for other matters of that nature. I'll ask Mr. Sherman, would you unmute? Mr. Crotterville, unmute. Mr. O'Donnell, unmute.
Good morning, afternoon, Your Honor.
Yeah, good afternoon. Mr. O'Donnell? If you're there, Mr. O'Donnell, please unmute.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. If you have a video, you want to put it on for a minute?
Absolutely.
Good. Okay. So, Mr. Sherman, I gather that you represent the defendant in this matter, and this is the first appearance today. So, eventually, what I will do today is to give her her rights, make sure she understands the nature of the charge and the nature of the penalties, and then we'll see where we stand at that point. However, Mr. Crotterville has gotten an authorization from Judge Heitman, dated June, looks like it's the 27th of 2024, for him to do video recording, still photography, and audio recording in connection with this case. Is that right, Mr. Crotterville? Mr. Crotterville?
Yes, Judge. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. So you got this order signed by Judge Heitman. And Mr. O'Donnell, would you identify yourself? Who are you? Are you a news person or?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm a reporter for Tap Into New Brunswick.
Okay. So, frankly, as luck would have, on July 22 of this year, which was only last week, we received from Judge Grant, the acting administrative director, directive number 06-24, and it's entitled Supreme Court Guidelines on Media Access and Electronic Devices in the New Jersey Courts. How timely would that be? Last week, they passed this new set of guidelines for the very thing that Mr. Crotterville and Mr. O'Donnell are looking to do. And Mr. Crotterville, although you got authorization, that authorization was in June, and this new memo came out in July. So I do believe that you're going to need new authorization. I can refer you, matter of fact, I'll read it to you, as on page 7 of this directive. By the way, the directive is 32 pages long. It's entitled Possession and Use of Electronic Devices. And it says, unless authorized by the assignment judge, which would be Judge Toto in this case, all electronic devices shall be powered off or maintained in silent mode prior to entering any courtroom. Persons in possession of an electronic device are not permitted to use the device to conduct phone conversations or to transmit, broadcast, take photographs, or record any court without permission from the assignment judge. And again, this is brand new stuff. It codifies some of the law from before, but I didn't want to blindside anybody. And I thought that the best thing for us to do is have this pre-hearing conference so that you're aware of this new requirement. Along with this came an email from Judge Toto. And if I recall correctly, Tracy, that email said that there is to be no photographs in the municipal court, period.
No recording in the municipal court.
No recording in the municipal court. So my suggestion, Mr. Crotterville, is you're going to have to reapply But this time, you're going to have to apply to Judge Toto. And Mr. O'Donnell, if you're seeking permission, you're going to have to do likewise. I think, and I'm just giving you my offhand opinion, I think that Judge Toto will probably kick it to Judge Heitman, but I can't say that for sure. I really don't know. All I know is I got this, and today is Wednesday. I got this on Monday, and I knew that this hearing was coming up. I didn't know that Mr. Groteville or Mr. O'Donnell wanted to participate in that fashion. But here we are 2 days before the hearing, and I get this 31-page document. So with that, I'll answer any questions you have or whatever you'd like to say. And as I told you, today is going to be just an arraignment, give her her rights, and move forward. So there's no harm in connection with this. There's nothing substantive going to happen other than this first appearance. Is there anyone who wants to discuss this with me or wants to ask me anything? I'll be happy to tell you what I know.
Sounds pretty straightforward. I just have to send a petition to Judge Toto.
Yeah, there are some exhibits attached. There's an order. So unless authorized in writing by the assignment judge, all electronic devices shall be powered off or maintained in silent mode prior to entering any municipal courtroom. And the use of cell phones to conduct phone calls, stream videos, or other activities that disrupt or interfere with the court proceeding is prohibited and subject to the authority of the judge to terminate activity that is disruptive in the court proceeding. And it goes on. There's lots of language in here, but again, I thought the best thing to be fair to everybody is to let you know that this new directive has come out, and you'll have to proceed accordingly. Let's start with you, Mr. Sherman. Anything you'd like to say?
No, Your Honor. I've nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Groteville.
Yes, I'd like to be heard. I do have a few questions. And just for the record, I did make my request on June the 25th.
Yes.
Got a response from Ms. Tracy Horan on June 27, and I did follow up yesterday to ask for more information, and specifically with live streaming, which our request was not only to record but also to be able to broadcast live. And I was told that the presiding judge reviewed your request and made the decision on what was allowed. She didn't share the reason for the denial of the broadcast. So I guess I'm just still not clear on why the denial of an aspect of the request occurred. Nevertheless, grateful for the approval, but correct me if I'm wrong, you're telling me the approval is not valid or should not be?
I believe that this is no longer valid because the law has changed. And Directive 06-24 supersedes the earlier directive, which was 11-201. And it says, just so that you understand, it says questions may be directed to 609-815-2900-52353. So, what else can I answer for you?
Okay, so yeah, I get that, and I know that I'll be honest with you. It would have been helpful to know going into this that the approval that I had received through the court was not going to be deemed valid. For the record, I am recording this proceeding based on that approval. Are you telling me that I should not be recording the proceeding today? That this is?
I am telling you that you should not. And the order that was signed by Judge Heitman specifically says live broadcast is denied.
Right, but it says that recording is approved, so that's why I'm recording. And you're telling me that I should disregard that approval?
Well, in my opinion, you should. It may be that Judge Toto, when he gets your application, will feel differently. I can't speak for him, obviously. He's the boss. All I can do is try to interpret what they sent to me and every other judge, not just to me. I mean, I have several of these cases pending. Somehow or other, Judge Heitman must either love me or hate me. But every time there's one of these cases, me and Bob Janskovich seem to be the go-to people that have to handle these kinds of matters. So, at any rate, if I were you, and I'm ordering you not to go ahead and do still photography, again, I made that decision based on the fact that today is only going to be an arraignment. So there's nothing substantive going to happen today other than give them their rights. But I didn't want to blindside you, Mr. Crotable, since you were able to get an order signed. And certainly, I don't know, Mr. O'Donnell, I mean, this is the first time I was hearing he wanted to apply. And when Judge Toto gets your documents, maybe he'll change his mind right away. I don't know. I can't speak for him. So, but I did not want to blindside you and just go forward and have you in peril for doing something that the new rule says you shouldn't do.
I see. So just correct me if I'm wrong. This would have gone to trial today.
No,
No?
would not have gone to trial today. Today is only your first appearance.
Okay. Well, then respectfully, I do feel blindsided. I know, that wasn't your intent, but it would have been nice to know prior to this, the hearing itself, that there was some question about the approval, because, I'm in good faith showing up with the approval.
Mr. Crotable,
To
I
record.
got it on Monday. Today is only Wednesday. Right?
Right, and I was in touch with your staff yesterday. I would have liked to have known when I got in touch that something was amiss. That's all.
Nothing is amiss. It's just when we got it. I don't know what you want me to do, but again, taking the time to make certain that I treat everybody as fairly as I could possibly treat you and give you as much information as I can give you. Unfortunately, I cannot give you a copy of Directive 06-24. By court rule, I can't give you an administrative directive that was sent to the courts. So
The directive, I have the directive. I actually shared it on Twitter, and
I did it just for my own information because I can't give it to you. I don't know how to give it to you.
Directive 06-24. It's on the web,
Okay.
and so I'm familiar with it. I was not aware that it would disrupt my previous approval to record today's proceeding, and the only way I could know is if somebody notified me, and no one's notified me till right now. So I guess on your order, I will stop recording the proceeding. But I'm disappointed that I didn't get any advance notice that this was going to be the case.
I share your disappointment, and frankly, they spring these things on us in the courts in a way that we have no idea when it's coming, what's going to be covered. It just comes. And so I did have an opportunity to review it. And again, I wanted to make certain that I gave you as much leeway as I can give you notice, which is today. I'm sorry for your disappointment. I'm sure that Judge Toto will be able to handle it. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, right? He's a wonderful assignment judge, but his directive that came with this said there's not going to be any sharing of recording in courtrooms. So my suggestion is go make your application to him, see what he says. Okay?